How's it going, everyone? This is Cloud Chief, and in today's video I am bringing you another Unity NM, and this one is the fly that is out in the dunes. So Valkyrum Imperator. This guy is the 119 version of Valkyrum Emperor, and he is actually not too bad of an NM. So you can pop him out in the dunes at either D6, E8, or K9. It costs 1500 Unity accolades to pop him. So let's move on to his drops. He actually has two very interesting drops. He has the Imperial Wing Hairpin and Regal Pumps. The Hairpin is basically the 119 version of the Emperor's Hairpin, and it's pretty decent, although I'm not sure if you're a really high-end player that you would really get use out of it. Possibly if you're like Ninja and Thief, if you're making an invasion build set, but that's not really too much of a thing. I could see you getting use out of this if you are recently 119, but I don't really see too much use of it if you're getting more on the high-end side in 11. The other drop, which is the Regal Pumps, are actually seem pretty useful for the mage jobs that can equip it. You're going to have somewhere between 5 and 7 fast cast, along with having some haste, enhancing magic, and enfeebling magic. It actually seems like a pretty good foot piece for mages, especially for fast cast sets. So now on to the fight itself. So he can do your typical fly TP moves. He can do Venom, which is a frontal breath move that inflicts poison, and it does low damage even though it's a breath move. And then he can also do Curse Fear, which actually can hit somewhat hard. Also, when he uses Curse Fear, he typically seems to spam it 3 times back to back. So, considering there's no real way to mitigate that damage besides damage taking gear, you need to be ready to get some cures in if you're going to survive this, because taking 3 quick TP moves back to back that do a fair amount of damage can actually hurt, especially if you are a low level character. The other TP move he has is called Debilitating Drone, and that will actually give you 2 negative attribute effects that cannot be removed. You are stuck with these until the duration wears off. Outside of all that, he seems to have a decently high evasion. So you need to be coming to the table with a decent amount of accuracy. In base accuracy, in my Bailed and Sparks gear set, I was about at 850, and accuracy was quite brutal. Even with popping a Bream Sushi, it was still really bad accuracy. I don't think I would really want to approach this fight unless you're coming in with about at least 1,000. Even at 1,000 accuracy, you're probably still going to be missing him a fair bit. The other thing about it is, like I said, considering you're taking the damage from Curse Sphere, you need to have some decent sustain. I was unable to take this NM using a blood tank. I had to rely on Gesho just so that way I'm not taking constant damage and being a constant MP drain on the healers. I also was unable to do it with Farius Coffin, as he just can't keep up. The time I did clear when I was in my Sparks gear, I had to use Geshu with Apuru. So just be aware you need to have a decent amount of sustain to be able to win out this fight. So while it was possible, and I did clear this as item level 118, even though I have a fair number of job points on my war at this point, I would really recommend that you be 119, and like I said, try and be around 1,000 accuracy at least, just so that way you're not wasting too much time and you're not making this fight too brutal if you're trying to go and get drops from this. If you're doing that, you shouldn't really have too much problems with this. And that about wraps up everything to say about this NM. It's honestly, like I said, not too difficult. Just make sure you have some accuracy and sustain, and hopefully you have a blink tank or a blood tank that actually can take some decent hits. Otherwise, you're going to have some trouble with the S&M. As long as you're making sure those points are covered, he should be relatively easy. Also, considering it's a fly, he is weak to piercing damage, so bringing someone who has piercing damage is only going to help to push him down faster. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value out of it. And as always, may you have success in all you do.